Hello, this is High Priestess Key 333 back in the place to be for the one, the two, and the three. You guys know I am here for your knowledge, your wisdom, and your understanding, right? Okay, today, family, we're getting into this new moon that's coming in, right? This new moon that's coming in September 21st, which is tomorrow. This is the 20th. Yes, I'm a little behind in getting it to you, but at least I came a day early. Sometimes I think the last moon I came on the moon. So at least I'm a day early, okay? So the new moon, okay. So we know as usual, this channel is in reference of the Vedic and the true sidereal spiritual astrology. Okay, so it will be different from what you are normally used to, which is probably the Western and the tropical. Okay, so what I will speak to is the true sidereal and the Vedic. Okay, and what I call the spiritual astrology, which is a whole different aspect of probably anything that you may have heard of, but it does go with the Vedic and the true sidereal. Okay, which is really Eastern astrology. All right. So I do have to start by letting y'all know that, because sometimes when I'm talking, people will say, well, what are you talking about? That's not the Western. I know it's not, but it's the truth. Okay. Because the Western is a little different. I tell everybody to go with what resonates with you. I go with what the ancestors, the Most High, have brought to my attention, and that I have been given confirmation, clarification on. Okay. A lot of things will take you out of alignment, family, of what we have basically learned all of our lives, which have been the illusion and deception. Okay, so you can be in a low vibrational state. That's why the world is the way it is today. Okay, so hopefully with the information and the messages that I can give you, that can help you at least gain and get yourself into some type of alignment. Okay, definitely I always start by giving honor and praises to my ancestors, and definitely trying to give you some messages in reference of our ancestors together, right? Bringing both worlds together, the physical and the spiritual, to give you a message in reference of what this energy is, because everything is energy, family. All right, a lot of you guys may not understand it, but you will soon. You will get it, sooner or later. Is what always what my spiritual family always will, attest to, and then it is true. Okay, I watch things play out. Okay, so please, please be mindful and have an open mind, an open heart, and try to do the greater good for humanity and for self first. Okay, all right. So the new moon, it's gonna be in sidereal Virgo. Okay, I'm a Virgo moon, so I'm feeling this moon already. Okay, I was feeling this moon. They always say it's 3 days before and 3 days after, but sometimes I be feeling like the first part of the week. Okay, but it's okay, because this one is all about organization. This one, Virgo, right? Planning things out, knowledge, right? And doing all things, getting things, following all the rules, leading by example. And if that doesn't resonate in reference to Virgo, Virgos are, the first in the spiritual astrology, right? For our, for the spiritual astrology, right? But I know you guys would say it's in a different house, in the Western. But Virgo, even in the Vedic, is in Uttara Palguni. Okay, Uttara Palguni Nakshatra. That's what it'll be in. That new moon will be at 3:53 p.m. Okay, Eastern time. So whatever time zone you're in, I'm in Eastern, so I always give you the Eastern. Okay, it will be a heightened day. Okay, of energy, where the veil between the human and the unseen, which is the spiritual realm, is uniquely thin. And you know why? Because Virgos, a lot of people don't talk about it. They say Pisces is, the most spiritual. They say, let's see, they say Pisces, they say Scorpio is closest to the dead, right? All those things are true. But Virgo, okay, is the divine goddess, is the moon, is the energy of Mother Moon, okay? So it's happening with that. You will be able to see more things visually, right? Because the veil is thin. Not only just to be able to peep in on that side, but also in reference of deception. right? Things will be revealed, right? If you are utilizing your spiritual eye, not your physical eyes, okay? Um, and a lot of Virgos, most people with Virgo moons are very insightful, very intuitive, very spiritual people. Um, so that's me, right? I'm a Virgo moon. So I can attest to that, right? Because I have deep dive into my spiritual journey back in 2019. Okay, so it's been a while, right? And from there, it was straight off. I taught myself how to do tarot. Nobody taught me that. Like I just jumped right in because of I always say spirituality, and this is a test to Virgo energy, right? Because most of Virgos, that's what it is. They're very spiritual, even if they're not trying to be. You know what I mean? Um, but yeah, so this around this new moon is the veil will be very low, okay, very thin. The equinox comes right behind it too, but I will get into that. But anyways, that energy that is in reference of the veil being low is in the Vedic. It's called Pitru Paksha. Okay, it's a powerful time to connect with the departed ancestors in the spirit world. Yes, so this is a wonderful time to do any energy work. I know I will be busy all tomorrow, so I mean, just the later half, right? Um, just get your work in regardless. Do your ancestor veneration, do your do whatever spiritual work you need to do. Tomorrow is a wonderful day. It's a 21 day as well, right? So which comes back down to 3. So it gives a lot of energy, but it also has the negative to it too. Okay. So if you're not doing the greater good, or if you're not doing the right thing, you may feel that. Okay. And it may not be positive. So, you want to be very careful. We will see a lot of it's duality and everything. I tell y'all this every video, right? So we're gonna see that balance, we're gonna see the deaths, we're gonna see all of those things, right? But the better things that you can pull out of this, because I hope that everybody is trying to do the greater good and trying to better themselves, is to connect with your ancestors, right? Um, and that's what it needs to be, to express gratitude to them, appease the unrest, right? Help those that haven't crossed over. Maybe tomorrow is the day for you to do that if you know how to do it. Heal a generational trauma or a curse, right? And bring greater peace and greater good, and into the ancestral world, right? Or to even this world, right? Do something, pay it forward. These are the things, okay? I'm also using my verdict information. I always tell you guys I use my verdict information from Tamiko Fisher, which I love her, right? She has the best forecasts for verdict, right? So I use her information. So I like to cite my source. I'll do that on all my videos that I use her verdict information, because I'm not profound on verdict, although I am getting there, because after doing it for a long time now, I pretty much am getting used to the nakshatras, right? It's only like 27 of them. So it's a lot to remember as well, right? But hers is profound. So if you want to go to her page, please do. This is a powerful and sensitive day. It becomes even more so due to today's partial solar eclipse. Yes, we have a partial solar eclipse with a new moon in Virgo. Now that is some powerful energy. Okay. And you think tomorrow is not a great day to do any energy work? It is. Okay. Now, if you don't want to do any rituals or anything like that, you don't have to, but it is a very powerful time. Okay. Eclipses are inwardly transformation, right? It's inwardly transformative. It is spiritually profound energy. Okay. Um, there are times when the spiritual practice and it benefits to be amplified during that time. Okay. Some people say they don't like to do rituals during that time. And that's okay. It just depends on what you're trying to do and what type of energy you're trying to mess with. You know what I'm saying? And being that it's a partial, it's not a total. Okay, so that's another thing as well. There is a difference. Okay, but resetting, the blinking of an eye, eclipses encourage a new way of seeing things, and you may have a whole new perspective on some things with the shift in what can happen. There will be a lot of things that will probably. I got the message on Friday for Patreon in reference of things exploding. So a very fiery element energy, although we're in earth energy, right? So I feel darkness, okay? Because Virgo is that energy, is the moon energy, mama moon, right? So that's dark energy, okay? But it may be light because she's moved into a different world, right? So we have to look at it that way too. So it could be the duality still. Eclipses at the same time destabilizing for the environment, yes, and are a time to navigate carefully. So that's the part that people don't realize. They just be going on about their day, not realizing that it's solar eclipse with the new moon together. That's some powerful energy. You need to be getting still, family. If it's the only thing I can tell you about tomorrow, you need to be getting still. I gotta tell my child that because he likes to just maneuver like it's nothing. But yeah, so you just need to get still. Their efforts can continue to play out over the next few months as transited planets periodically reactivate the eclipse degree. Yeah, so what she's saying is that energy you could feel. It's like a lingering energy, just like the lunar eclipse. Like we had them back to back, sun and moon together, bringing them together. Explosive energy. Excuse me, family. I just ate. So what she says, there's definitely major beginnings, right? Like you could have positive things that happen right now that are going to be immensely taking over your life in some huge transformation, right? Such as purchase a new home, purchasing a new car, starting a new job, signing important documents, creating a new business, starting that business, getting a new building, things of this. It's like big things can happen, transformative things, especially when you're putting out that positive energy and you really, really tapping in with your ancestors like you should be, right? That's when that positive energy you'll start seeing. And it's a Virgo following all the rules and being dedicated. hmm But now on the flip of that, okay, I have to say on the flip of that, um, it could be the opposite. Okay. hmm It can be the opposite. The loss of a job, the losing of a home, the loss of money. Things like that can happen too. Blowing up, right? Violent arguments, fights, fusses. hmm Okay. A breaking up of a home. These are the things. So you have to be mindful. The crashing of the internet, the takedown of a grid, no power, right? Um, Many things. But then it also could be the spike of the stocks. You know what I'm saying? Because you just have to, you know what you have to be? You have to be prepared, which most Virgos are, and planning ahead, which most Virgos do. Okay? And organized, which most Virgos are. Because not only will the moon be in Virgo, the sun is in Virgo too. So you have the sun and the moon in Virgo. That is some powerful Virgo energy. And my Virgos are going to feel it very strongly, either in a positive or a negative way. All of the mutable signs, I can say. Because ain't this Virgo mutable? I think so. Mhm. So very little of the eclipse will cross human inhibited land, is what it states. So you may not be able to see it. It'll be visible like in New Zealand and Australia and the Pacific Islands and Antarctica. So places that we're not, right? So you may not see it. But the partial solar eclipse begins on tomorrow at 1:58 p.m. Eastern time until it looks like nine. That may be 9 or 10 Eastern time. No. I'm sorry. With the time of maximum eclipse at 3:58 p.m. So it ends right in the middle of when the new moon begins. That's what it is. I'm sorry, I was looking at the UTC time. Okay. So it's definitely going to be a lot of major energy. Okay. That's the main thing you need to know. Knowing that if you are a Virgo, and you know aspects of a Virgo, then it is the color of indigo. So what does that mean? The indigo chakra is the third eye. Okay. So you need to be either working with that chakra, okay, or either you need to be seeing things with that chakra, right? I told you guys it's gonna be a lot that you're gonna have to pay attention to and look at with your spiritual eye, which is that indigo. Okay. Um, yeah. Okay. And majority of you guys already know what the new moon energy is. I already told you guys major energy with that. The partial eclipse. I think I told you guys a lot about the partial eclipse, but if not, let me see if I can give you that message. I mean, that information. I don't know if I gave y'all the partial. We haven't had a partial one. I think we had a full one the last time, but let me give you some information about the partial, right? Yeah, so the partial is about ushering in prosperity energy and blessings, okay? Blessings. Career stability. Now is the time for you to be working your magic and your energy towards, if you want to start a new career, if you have some type of inkling around that, this is a good time. Maybe go to your ancestors, work on doing those type of things for career stability, bringing in new jobs like I talked about. Spiritual growth, okay, on the opposite side of that, and working with your ancestors. I already said that. And another part of that would be, you could work with that energy very strongly, family, in reference of bringing some harsh energy to the opposition. That's to your discouragement, but just remember karma. Okay, it works both ways. All right. Now, the crystals, pyrite, citrine. Okay. Of course, your black tourmaline. Pink opal is a good one to utilize around this time. Rhodonite, okay, and averchine. Now, herbs, I will tell you to utilize is peppermint, yarrow, mugwort, cinnamon, and chamomile, okay, and fennel. All right, it's good herbs to use during this time. All right. So those are your herbs. Those are your crystals, and let's do the message. All right. Oh, I forgot to tell you the planetary transits. Sorry, should have did. That was supposed to be at the beginning. The sun will be in Virgo. The moon will be in Virgo. This is at the time of the moon at 3:53 tomorrow. Mars will be in Libra. Mercury will be in Virgo too. So you already have three major big big planets that are going to be in Virgo tomorrow. That is some powerful energy in your communication, how you talk to people. Is that's Mercury. And I said technology too. That's Mercury as well. So we have the sun, the moon, and Mercury all in Virgo at the same time. Jupiter will still be in Gemini, Venus in Leo. Saturn is still retrograde in Pisces, and so is Neptune still retrograde in Pisces. Rahu is retrograde is in Aquarius, and K2 is in Leo. So we have two Venus and K2 in Leo. Pluto is still retrograde in Capricorn, and Uranus is still retrograde in Taurus. Chiron is retrograde in Aries. Okay. So that is where the planetary alignment is. When we come to the verdict is the sun and the moon are in that Ucha Palguni that I told you about. That goes back to the doing your ancestor work, right? Mars is in Citra. Mercury is in Hasta, okay, which I think Hasta resonates with me. Jupiter is in Puna Basu. Venus is in Maga still, right? And Saturn and Neptune is in Uttar Bhadra. Yeah, I think that's how you say it. And I think that's all I wanted to give you guys. So yeah, that's in the verdict, all right? Which is a lot of energy in the sun. I tell you that. Okay. Message for this new moon, ancestors, please, for the collective here. Messages in reference of the new moon, please. What is it that we need to know as a collective, please? Messages for the new moon in Virgo and the partial eclipse in Virgo, ancestors. Messages, what we need to know as a collective, please. Thank you. Here we are. message, ancestors, of what we need to know during this new moon in Virgo. Ashe. Okay. So the answers is definitely giving us energy here about your home and, and getting with the ancestors to change and shift the energy around your finances. Prayer and meditation at this time is a must. The ancestors is definitely saying this is a time in reference of bringing together the energy of love. Also, right now is that energy overall of Ariel, which is definitely all about communication, um, air element, okay, as well as earth, okay. So that goes back to a lot of what we are feeling, right? So air comes with the mental, right, which is also Virgo, and the earth is mother, right? So it goes back to what we also know as um that energy of what we were looking at Venus, right? But if you put Venus and Mercury together, which Mercury is in Virgo, that brings us back to Earth. So it's earthly element. It's definitely a lot of moon energy right now. Okay, I will just say that. But what the ancestors want us to know in reference of this is it has energy that ancestors is saying step up and do your summoning of your ancestors, tap in with your ancestors. I got it all over again with Callisto energy here. Be diligent, call someone. You know, it's about communication for the new moon, not just communication here on earth, but communication with the other side. Okay, prayer, meditation. Okay, because that's going to help you for protection, to remove stagnant energy, to get your living conditions in order, plus your lifespan. For some of you, you need to be working on that. Okay. Um, Preparation. Ancestors say it's time to get ready. Okay. Ready and prepared. Okay. Because things are transitioning, and that's what this energy is all about. Ancestors said this is also coming up in reference of, you know, being organized and diligent, just as Virgos would be. Okay. And that goes in reference of healing too. So a lot of you need to be doing shadow work. Look on this page and do your shadow work. Okay. I'm putting them out as fast as I possibly can because I can't put out everything all at once, but I am slowly putting them out. It's a lot of people still not watching them, but they'll be here because they'll be coming back here if you're not on my Patreon getting the new ones, right? Or the new daily, the new ones that we do every other week. So the ancestors just pushing this energy out. You should be in prayer meditation. If you don't have that in order, you need to be doing that, right? Every day, you know, because that's going to keep you out of harm's way. Okay. And the ancestors is definitely throwing it out again. Some of the ones that I told you about, the citrine, the clove and burdock as well, ancestors said, hematite, make sure you either carrying that for protection, or black tourmaline, that's here for the from the ancestors in reference of this new moon. This energy is here, family. Also protecting, or also money. Okay, so something about money. A lot of you may be receiving money, or some money could be removed. Okay, out of the home, out of the. But I'm seeing a lot of miracles. If you are doing the greater good, if you are projecting that, that's what's to come. And a lot of interventions for people in reference of your home life and the things that you may need. And for those that are going through things, this is energy in reference of you needing to tap in to heal. Okay. So doing shadow work and so forth. All right. But this is a positive message, a lot of protection, a lot of removal of stagnant energy, but it's based off of you doing that. This is about you. You must prepare. You're the only one to do your own shadow work. You're the only one to prepare yourself. You're the only one to do everything for self, is what this message is saying, to change and shift the energy. It's you. Okay. And the answers just threw it out again. All right. So that is your new moon message. Tap in, family. That veil is thin. Okay. Much love to you. This is High Priestess Key signing off. Peace, family. Peace.